You are a high stakes communicator because you are needing to transmit information, not just for information's sake, not just for the joy of knowledge acquisition. You need your audience to take action based on the information you transmit. And if they don't take action, or if they stay passive in decision making, then justice for your client is at risk. Welcome to the Foster Your Voice podcast with me, Christy Foster. After a 30-year career in music and theater, I never imagined I'd be coaching trial attorneys. But once I entered your world, I quickly realized how critical and underutilized voice is in the courtroom. The truth is, you don't win trials with brute strength. You win with your voice. I'll give you tools to unlock your voice so you can communicate not just with purpose, but on purpose. If you want quick action tips to help you stay calm and in control, keep jurors engaged, and inspire your listeners to action, all through the power of your voice, you're in the right place. I'm Christy Foster, and I'm here to help you foster your voice. Hello, Foster fam. Welcome back. Hey, glad you're here with me today as we start a new vocal technique series, talking through facial and body nonverbals and mindset around using vocal development in courtroom communication is super important. But there's some brass tacks that need to go hand in hand with your strategic communication growth. In fact, you may not have even considered that your voice, how you speak, is part of your nonverbal communication. Your words, the actual words, are the verbal part, but your delivery, your pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone falls under nonverbals, just like your facial expressions, body language, and breath control. So, we're going to do a series on what I refer to as the 5 building blocks: pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone. I want to encourage you as we get started to try doing the vocal exercises I'm going to walk us through. So, listen, make sure you're in a safe space in your car, or close the door to your office and just make sure there's not a depot happening in the conference room next door, or do it while you're out walking your dog. Just make sure you can experiment vocally and not alarm anybody who may overhear you. So, why does this even matter? Why should you care about vocal development? Because you, my friend, are a high stakes communicator. What does that mean? Well, you may think the answer is pretty obvious. As a trial attorney, you are communicating in high stress situations where the stakes are high. You're talking in arenas where big money or jail time is being discussed. It's high risk. And that's true. But going even deeper, you are a high stakes communicator because you are needing to transmit information, not just for information's sake, not just for the joy of knowledge acquisition. You need your audience to take action based on the information you transmit. And if they don't take action, or if they stay passive in decision making, then justice for your client is at risk. It's high stakes. So, back to the question, why do you need to pay attention to vocal development? Well, information enters the brain at the hippocampus, but decision making happens in the prefrontal cortex. So, how do you get information to the decision making action center? It's through vocal emotion. You use your voice to infuse meaning into your words so jurors can not only learn your case facts, but they can relate to them, reframe them, personalize them, connect them to their core knowledge, interpret them, and then decide what action they're going to take as a result of obtaining that information. If you're not using your voice strategically, your words might not be reaching the part of the juror's brain where decisions on how to act actually happen. And if they don't act, justice for your client is at risk. You know what I hate? Being misunderstood. It's actually one of my biggest fears, if I'm honest, right up there with birds. Yes, I'm afraid of birds. Leave me alone about it already. Being misunderstood is just the worst, though. Trying to communicate something and seeing that it's just not landing the way you intend. A too harsh of tone with your kid or spouse that ended up setting them off. A thinking face that got interpreted as annoyance or irritation and ended up shutting down the conversation and leaving you baffled. It's so frustrating in our personal lives, but in the courtroom, your mismatched communication profile could break your case and lose you a deserving verdict. So, I've created a free guide to get you thinking about the emotional profiles you create. It's a printable guide to help you 10x your communication impact by mastering 6 emotional profiles for clear and authentic connection. I break down the 6 core emotions: happy, sad, love, pride, anger, and fear by giving you face, body, and breathing cues. Plus, I show you exactly which point on a 1 to 10 scale you should be with your pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone in order to authentically capture the center of that core emotion. The link to get your free guide is in the show notes or by simply going to my website, fostervoicestudio.com. Don't wait to clear up your part of miscommunication and misunderstandings. Get your free download today. So today we're going to dive into some vocal technique as we begin to cover the 5 building blocks of voice. These 5 foundational elements or concepts that you'll explore to expand your range, and then you'll apply to your communication so you can build new vocal habits. So as I've said before, the 5 vocal building blocks: pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone. These items partnering with your breath, well, that's a stacked toolbox that holds a lot of power. I'm going to try to not get too technical, so don't be afraid here. This isn't intended to be a comprehensive vocal course, but just giving you some basic terminology and a good overview to get you started, and we can feel good about that. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with pitch, which is just how high or how low your voice is. Lower pitches are called chest voice because you can literally feel the vibration in your chest when you use it. Now, I need to also say that you should not be doing this while driving. Make sure you're in a stationary spot for this episode. And if you have the option, flip over to the Foster Your Voice YouTube so you can visually follow along. The link will be in the show notes, but I'll do my best to describe what I'm doing for those that aren't able to see me. So now, just with your hand on your chest, up high, nice and high between your collarbones, just start talking. Let's just say the alphabet with me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now move your voice lower. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Keep going. Do you feel that? The vibration in your chest? That's chest voice. Low pitch in chest voice. Now, start the alphabet again, but this time move your voice up. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Notice the vibration is lessening. For me, now I don't feel that vibration at all once I get up here. And listen to what my tone sounds like. I'm in high pitch, and we're going to call that head voice. We have chest voice, and we have head voice. So the big question is, when in the world would you ever need to use chest voice and head voice in trial? Chest voice is where most of your day-to-day speaking happens. It's strong, grounded, and should feel pretty comfortable to you. But here's the catch. Because you talk about serious things all the time, you can easily get stuck only in chest voice, only in this lower pitch zone. You get locked in here, and well, it's boring. It will lull the jury into disinterest. When everything sounds the same, they stop listening. Their brains just can't hear differentiation of ideas. So they lose out on mental organization, and you lose out on their ability to retain your message. Are you noticing how bored you are listening right now? How many additional thoughts have you had while I'm talking? How many distractions? Okay, enough of that. So, what's the alternative? Well, we also found our head voice earlier. Is this a suitable option? Either we talk low or we talk high? Well, not exactly. The alternative to the trap of chest voice is to add that in between zone. It's a middle voice. So repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you hear how 1, 2, 3 is that chest voice? 4, 5, 6, 7 elevates pitch and expands your range while still keeping out of head voice zone. That's going to be 8, 9, 10. That's head voice. Do head voice with me. 8, 9, 10. Feel how that's high? Now do middle voice again. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now chest and middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How you doing? You still with me? Well, you didn't know you'd have to do so much counting today. But trust me, this is where the magic happens. Middle voice is where your voice comes to life. You'll still do the bulk of your natural speaking in chest voice, but you just have to pop up into middle voice to perk up the listeners, to tantalize their ears, and to change up the energy. Pop into middle voice to transition to different sections of your opening. Establish your rule with chest voice. A company that puts profits over safety must be held accountable. Now transition to your teaching section by using middle voice. Now, to do your jobs in this case, you'll need to learn about the safety protocols of company XYZ. See how that disrupts the pattern and tickles the ears a little bit? That's new energy. It gives the jury bite-sized chunks and lightens things emotionally so they don't have to maintain heaviness. That's one of the many values of strategic middle voice. So, what about that head voice? When would we ever need to use this high-pitched zone in trial? Don't I sound ridiculous? Well, yes. Yes, you do sound ridiculous. But you are never going to just live up here. Just like you're never going to live only in middle voice, and you're definitely never going to live down only in chest voice. But just tapping into head voice can add a lot of auditory interest. Use it for descriptions of small things and approximations. Vaughn, New Mexico is a tiny little town, about halfway between Albuquerque and Roswell. See how I just tap into that and then come right back down? Where head voice becomes really strategic, though, is when you use it for a devil's advocate question in voir dire or in your challenges section in opening. Now, before we could bring this case to trial, we had to consider a few things. Maybe Mrs. Smith could have been a little more careful. Maybe she should have noticed the risk and avoided it. I mean, What about personal responsibility, right? Hear the head voice? Then bring your voice back down. Let's be clear. People have the right to trust that the products they use, the places they visit, and the services they rely on are safe. It's not the public's job to predict and protect themselves from corporate negligence. It's the company's job to make sure there's no danger in the first place. Can you hear how that head voice non-verbally communicates that the defense's premise is ridiculous? If you don't move your voice up and you pose the premise in your natural voice, you'll give credibility to it and cause your jurors to second guess themselves and the principles you helped them establish in your voir dire. Strategically accessing and knowing when to access chest voice, middle voice, and head voice will elevate your nonverbal communication game and set you up as the emotional leader of the courtroom. Just start experimenting with this. Try it in low stakes situations, practice it in casual conversations, when reading out loud, or even just talking to yourself in the car. And let me know how it goes. Send me a DM or email me. I want to hear all about it. It does take practice. But once you start using pitch strategically, your communication will never be the same. Keep fostering your voice, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for pulling up a seat with me today and for being part of the Foster fam. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave a review or a comment so I can give you a shout out on a future episode. During the week, you can find me on Instagram at Foster Voice Studio, where I'm dropping little nuggets of vocal technique and leadership wisdom. You can also join my mailing list by visiting fostervoicestudio.com or by clicking the link in the show notes. I'll send a weekly vocal tip every Tuesday directly to your inbox. Until then, keep fostering your voice.